If you have a big family, it's hard to beat Sam's Club. Members loving the big savings on bulk items from detergent to frozen food.
Paper products, anything toilet paper, paper towels.
Tide, strawberries, the bananas, anything that can make you a good salad.
But lately, some of them are not happy with new changes announced for the stores.
They promise big savings, but are warehouse clubs like Costco, Sam's Club, and BJ's really worth the membership fee?
News 5's Elizabeth Van Metre looks at what you actually save and where you might be spending more than you actually think, so you don't waste your money.
Some people shop warehouse clubs to save time.
I have to go to the grocery store a lot less.
Others are in it for hard-to-find items.
I've been trying to get that Dubai chocolate. It sells out real fast.
What if your favorite place to stock up on bulk deals was quietly draining your wallet and risking your health in the process? Sam's Club may look like a shopper's paradise, but some customers walk out with far more than they bargained for. From expired food sold as fresh to shady corporate tactics hiding behind that smiling greeter, the truth about Sam's Club isn't on display. It's buried in the fine print, and once you see it, you might never shop the same way again. At first glance, Sam's Club feels like a dream for deal hunters. Jumbo packs of paper towels, 5-pound bags of frozen wings, and gallon jugs of detergent all scream value. But here's the catch. Most shoppers walk out spending far more than they planned. And it's no accident. Sam's Club uses a strategic mix of layout psychology, price anchoring, and subtle upselling to create what experts call perceived value. It's not just about buying in bulk. It's about convincing you that more means saving, even when it doesn't. The store's layout is designed like a maze, pulling you past high-margin impulse buys before you even reach the essentials. Free samples create a sense of generosity, triggering guilt-based purchases. And those limited-time yellow tags? Many are tied to rotating stock, not true discounts, so you feel rushed to buy before it disappears. Even the pricing plays tricks. A 32-pack of snacks might cost $14.99, which sounds like a steal until you realize the per-unit cost is higher than a regular grocery store sale. But once it's in the cart, few stop to calculate. And by the time you reach checkout, that $20 trip has ballooned into $150, most of it on things you didn't plan to buy. One former Sam's Club merchandiser admitted, "We'd position high-profit seasonal items near the entrance. Grills in spring, heaters in fall. People came for milk and left with a kayak. The illusion of savings is powerful, but beneath it lies a truth few want to admit. Sometimes you're not saving money, you're just spending more and smiling while you do it. And if you think that's frustrating, just wait until you hear what the employees behind the registers are dealing with every day." While Sam's Club presents itself as a smooth, well-oiled machine, the workers behind the scenes tell a very different story. Beneath the fluorescent lights and massive inventory are employees stretched thin, overwhelmed, and in some cases outright exploited. Former cashiers and floor staff have taken to forums and job review sites to share what it's really like, and their stories are nothing short of alarming. One ex-employee in Florida recalled working 11-hour shifts with only one break. Another said she was denied time off for a family emergency, only to see her hours slashed the following week as punishment. The common thread? Understaffing, unpredictable schedules, and relentless pressure to move faster, stock more, and smile no matter what. Then there's the issue of safety. Employees have described rushing heavy pallets across crowded aisles without proper equipment. In several cases, associates were injured due to falling stock or faulty lifts. And what did management do? According to staff, injuries were often swept under the rug to avoid paperwork or corporate scrutiny. One night shift worker said he slipped on a wet loading dock and was told to walk it off. Sam's Club, like its parent company Walmart, often relies on part-time workers to avoid offering full benefits. This leaves many staff members juggling multiple jobs or unable to afford basic healthcare, even while moving thousands of pounds of product a day. And if you're expecting extra help during busy weekends, think again. Several stores deliberately cut hours to meet strict labor budgets, leaving a skeleton crew to handle massive weekend crowds. So next time you're handed a receipt with a smile, remember, behind that smile may be a worker dealing with exhaustion, injury, or silent burnout. And if that wasn't unsettling enough, wait until you learn how Sam's Club keeps customers paying for a membership they might not even need. Sam's Club doesn't just make money from what's in your cart, it profits before you even walk through the door. That shiny membership card in your wallet. It's part of a carefully engineered system designed to extract money whether you shop or not. On the surface, memberships promise exclusive savings and premium perks, but dig deeper and you'll find a model built on upsells, auto-renew traps, and benefits that often go unused. It starts with the tiered memberships. Basic plans cost around $50 annually, while Plus memberships run over $100. But many shoppers report being subtly pressured into upgrading at checkout, lured by vague promises of early access, cash rewards, or special pricing. In reality, those perks may only apply to a narrow list of products, or come with strings attached, like complicated rebate redemption rules or usage limits. Even more troubling is how difficult it can be to cancel. Customers have complained about automatic renewals they never agreed to, buried in the fine print during sign-up. Some only noticed the charge months later on their credit card statements. Others reported being bounced between phone lines and store desks in a frustrating loop of "we can't cancel that here." And what about all the exclusive deals? Many are available at Walmart, Amazon, or regular grocery stores without a membership at all. But by positioning the store as a privilege, something you pay to access, Sam's Club creates a sense of sunk cost. I already paid, many shoppers think, so I might as well use it. It's a psychological trick that keeps customers coming back, not out of need, but obligation. The truth is, for many households, the membership barely pays for itself, but that's exactly what the company is counting on, that you'll renew out of habit, not value. And just when you think your money's being put to good use, it's time to take a closer look at what's lurking in those giant freezers and bakery racks. Most shoppers assume that a massive retailer like Sam's Club must follow strict health and safety standards. After all, they sell everything from raw meat to prescription drugs. But behind the polished aisles and spotless floors, reports have surfaced of troubling hygiene lapses and safety violations, many of which never reach the public eye. In 2022, a Sam's Club location in Ohio was cited after local health inspectors discovered spoiled dairy left out in unrefrigerated carts for hours. Employees said the backup freezers were malfunctioning for days, yet management insisted on keeping stock available to avoid revenue loss. Similar complaints surfaced in Texas and Georgia, where former workers described cleaning practices that would make you lose your appetite. One said, "We were told to just wipe down the bakery equipment. No soap, no sanitizer, just a dry cloth." There are also issues with cross-contamination. In several cases, employees preparing bakery items reported being pulled to the meat department mid-shift without proper glove changes or hand-washing protocols. And when it comes to the cafe and food court areas, things aren't much better. One viral post showed mold in soda fountains at a southern location with a caption that read, "This is what we drink every week." But it's not just the food. Cracked warehouse floors, flickering lights, and poorly maintained refrigeration systems pose real hazards for both customers and workers. Several lawsuits have been filed after slips and falls caused by unmarked spills or broken equipment left unattended. Yet insiders say maintenance is often postponed to meet strict cost controls, leaving some stores to run on a shoestring. And here's the worst part, because many locations rely on minimal local oversight, these problems can go unaddressed for months, sometimes years. So while customers pile pallets high with groceries and home goods, they may never realize they're shopping in a ticking health hazard. But the rot doesn't stop at the store level. The deeper problems trace all the way to the company pulling the strings, Walmart. And that's exactly where we're heading next. Sam's Club might look like a separate upscale warehouse chain, but in reality, it's tethered to one of the most controversial corporations in American retail history, Walmart. And that connection isn't just on paper. It shapes how Sam's Club operates, how it treats employees, and how it maximizes profits, often at the cost of quality, ethics, and safety. Owned outright by Walmart, since its founding in 1983, Sam's Club shares more than just executive leadership. It shares a corporate mindset. That means aggressive cost cutting, data-driven staffing reductions, and a relentless focus on shareholder return. While the two brands market themselves differently, their back-end operations are deeply intertwined. From supply chains to HR policies, what happens at Walmart often trickles directly into Sam's Club stores. Take labor practices, for example. Walmart has long been criticized for union busting, low wages, and inconsistent benefits, and Sam's Club follows suit. In fact, several lawsuits brought against Walmart for unfair labor practices named Sam's Club managers as co-defendants. One case in California alleged that employees were clocked out automatically during lunch breaks, whether they ate or not. Another claimed that safety training was skipped entirely during peak hiring seasons to save time. Even the merchandise tells the story. Many products sold at Sam's Club are repackaged versions of Walmart inventory, marked up or bundled differently to appear exclusive. And when suppliers push back on margins, Walmart's bulk purchasing power ensures that Sam's Club can still squeeze them for lower cost, often at lower quality. But perhaps the most glaring example of their connection came during a massive data breach in 2021. When customer information was compromised across several Sam's Club locations, it was Walmart's centralized IT system that had failed. Few headlines made that link, but the fallout affected millions. So the next time you see a smiling associate in a blue vest, remember, they might not work for Sam's Club. They work for Walmart in disguise. And speaking of disguises, wait until you find out what's really hiding in those giant bulk containers. There's something deeply satisfying about pushing a cart overflowing with bulk snacks, frozen meals, and family-sized condiments. It feels efficient, it feels smart, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Buying in bulk at Sam's Club often means loading up on ultra-processed, heavily preserved, and nutritionally questionable food, and most customers have no idea what they're really consuming. Take a look at those 48-count frozen breakfast sandwiches. Flip the label and you'll see a paragraph of ingredients, most of which you can't pronounce. Sodium levels that exceed daily recommendations, artificial dyes linked to behavioral issues, and preservatives that have been banned in other countries are hiding in plain sight. But because they're bundled together in eye-catching boxes with phrases like family favorite or grab and go, they fly off the shelves. Then there's the issue of misleading health claims. Items labeled natural or wholesome often contain corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, or genetically modified ingredients. A popular case involved a so-called organic trail mix sold in massive plastic tubs. After closer inspection, customers realized it contained nearly as much added sugar as a candy bar per serving. But by the time that realization hits, most shoppers have already paid and eaten. Non-food items aren't immune either. Giant jugs of cleaning products and cosmetics often include the same formulations as discount brands, just repackaged to appear premium. In fact, consumer watchdogs have found that some Sam's Club exclusive bulk deals actually contain less active ingredient per ounce than their single item store brand counterparts. And if you think these oversized purchases save you money, remember this: spoilage and waste are common. Studies show that bulk buyers often throw away up to 30% of perishable goods before they're used. So while it may feel like you're winning, you're often overpaying for low quality filler and tossing a third of it in the trash. But not everyone's in the dark. Some have taken their concerns to court, and the lawsuits that followed exposed even more than expired goods and hidden chemicals. Up next, we dive into the legal firestorm that's been quietly surrounding Sam's Club for years. For a brand that sells itself as a family-friendly shopping destination, Sam's Club has racked up an unsettling number of legal battles, many of which barely make the news. From employee mistreatment to consumer fraud, the chain has quietly spent years battling lawsuits that reveal just how far its corporate culture is willing to bend the rules. One of the most prominent cases came in 2019 when a group of former employees filed a class action lawsuit alleging wage theft. They claimed Sam's Club had routinely required them to clock out before finishing their shifts, shaving hours to stay under strict labor budgets. Others described mandatory unpaid overtime during inventory season, sometimes stretching well past midnight without compensation. The company settled for an undisclosed amount, but the damage to employee trust was done. Then there are the discrimination claims. A female manager in Texas alleged she was repeatedly passed over for promotion despite outperforming her male colleagues. She also claimed she faced retaliation after filing a complaint with HR. In another case, a former warehouse associate with a disability sued after being denied reasonable accommodations, even though federal law required them. Both lawsuits painted a troubling picture of an organization more interested in legal loopholes than employee well-being. Sam's Club has also been accused of deceptive business practices. In one high-profile case, customers filed a class action suit after discovering that the company was charging different prices online and in-store without proper disclosure. Some were paying significantly more at checkout than what was listed on the app. Others said coupons and promotional prices were quietly excluded from warehouse locations, even when advertised nationally. And let's not forget the food recalls. From salmonella-tainted chicken to metal shavings and breakfast patties, Sam's Club has had multiple incidents where products were pulled after already reaching thousands of homes. While the company issued statements, many consumers only found out through third-party alert systems or media reports, raising questions about transparency and public safety. These aren't isolated mistakes, they're symptoms of a larger problem, a massive corporation prioritizing profits over people. And yet, despite the controversies, millions of shoppers keep coming back. Why? That's where the psychology of loyalty comes in, and it's more powerful than you think. With all the lawsuits, labor complaints, and questionable practices, you might wonder, why do millions of people still renew their Sam's Club memberships every year? The answer lies in a calculated blend of psychology, convenience, and manipulation that keeps customers coming back, even when the experience doesn't always live up to the promise. It starts with the illusion of exclusivity. Just by walking through the door, you feel like you're part of a special club, one that not everyone can access. The membership card becomes more than a shopping pass. It's a badge of status, a subconscious signal that you're savvy enough to get insider deals. And once you've paid for access, your brain naturally seeks ways to justify the cost. This is known as the sunk cost fallacy, and Sam's Club exploits it brilliantly. Then there's the thrill of the hunt. The rotating inventory, seasonal one-offs, and limited time deals create a treasure hunt mentality. Customers often walk in for toilet paper and leave with a kayak, a waffle maker, and a lifetime supply of pretzels. These spontaneous finds trigger dopamine, the same chemical associated with gambling wins, giving shopping at Sam's Club a low-stakes casino vibe. Social proof plays a role too. Huge carts, long checkout lines, and packed parking lots make it feel like everyone is saving money. It's easy to assume that if so many people shop there, it must be worth it. Add in the peer pressure of family members or coworkers raving about their latest haul, and suddenly skipping a renewal feels like missing out. Sam's Club also blurs the line between necessity and luxury. By selling both everyday essentials and high-ticket splurges under one roof, the store taps into every layer of consumer desire, from survival to indulgence. And when everything's bundled together in bright packaging and smiling service, it's hard to see the red flags underneath. So despite the controversies, the lawsuits, and the health concerns, Sam's Club keeps winning the loyalty game. But that loyalty comes at a price, and once you understand how they're playing the long game, you'll start to see the store and your shopping habits in a very different light. If you've made it this far, chances are your next trip to Sam's Club won't feel quite the same, and that's exactly why these stories matter, because when we pull back the curtain, we see more than just towering shelves and bulk bargains. We see the people behind the registers, the shortcuts behind the products, and the psychology behind the pitch. If you found any of this surprising or even a little eye-opening, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more than you think, and if you want to keep discovering the hidden truths behind the brands you thought you knew, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got more investigations coming, and you won't want to miss what's next. Drop a comment below if you've ever had an experience at Sam's Club that made you question the brand, or if there's another company you want us to expose next. Every story helps us dig deeper, and your voice could be the spark that starts the next reveal. So, what's the real story behind Sam's Club? It's not just about jumbo packs of snacks or weekend shopping trips. It's about the carefully hidden costs that come with every oversized cart. From questionable labor practices and hidden health concerns to corporate manipulation and legal drama, the truth about Sam's Club is far more complicated than the smiling greeters and shiny membership perks suggest. Behind the bulk deals are workers pushed past their limits. Behind the member-only savings are marketing tricks designed to keep you spending more than you planned. And behind the loyalty is a system that counts on you not looking too closely. But now you've looked, you've seen what most customers don't. And that awareness is powerful, because once you start questioning the polished images presented by big corporations, you start making choices that actually serve you, not just their bottom line. So the next time you reach for that giant tub of peanut butter or walk under those warehouse lights, ask yourself, what am I really buying into? Thanks for watching. Stay smart, stay curious, and remember, the biggest savings aren't always found on the shelf.